Welcome to Filmatic. I am your host, the Film Doctor. I am back, and we are in episode 11. I'm not even going to count them off because until we get to like 3 digits, but it is so good because we are moving in such a great direction. We're going to change a whole bunch of things inside the next few episodes, try and spice things up here on Filmatic. Yeah, I said it, Filmatic. Oh, there's no one around to stop me on Filmatic. Yes, so let's get right into what's coming soon. We are going to talk about a movie called I guess it's Disney's Jungle Cruise or just Jungle Cruise. I don't really know. But it's with The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. Most of his movies are really good. This is a Disney movie. Let's check out the trailer for it.
So what are you doing out here?
There is a legend in the jungles of the Amazon of a tree that heals all. It could change the world, but if it gets into the wrong hands, it could awaken a great evil. I believe that the legend is real.
Which it's not.
And I'm going to find it.
Which you won't.
And when I do, just imagine the lives that could be saved.
I've been looking for this tree longer than anybody. I've tracked the legend to every village, every island. Nothing. You're searching for something that can't be found.
But you've never had the key.
Let's do something that's safe. Let's go see some elephants.
There are no elephants in the Amazon, and I don't even like elephants.
Lady, everybody likes elephants. Know this about the jungle. Everything that you see wants to kill you, and can. Careful. They could smell fear.
I am not afraid. Oh my gosh.
Who brings a submarine to the Amazon?
Fire!
Back.
Good night. I got you.
Frank, get it.
Hold on.
Come on.
I got it.
Frank.
I don't got it.
No. For goodness sake, just leave me alone. That was a disaster.
Didn't go the way I planned.
It looks like an okay trailer. Nothing special, nothing specific, nothing that caught my eye. Just looks like a typical rock action Disney movie. I don't have much to say about it. I don't have any thoughts that would say it's going to be good, it's going to be bad. I mean, with Disney, it's kind of up in the air. You know, it could hit, it could miss, it could just be okay, it could be really, really good. In my eyes, just looking at that trailer, I think it's going to be average. It's not going to be anything specific, anything special, but, you know, I might check it out, I might buy it, whatever. It's The Rock. I love wrestling, I love The Rock, so why not check it out? But that's that. Let's talk about new releases. This movie I just saw is called Bloodshot with Vin Diesel, and it is a good action. It has a unique story. There's something that's different. You know, when I looked at the trailer for Bloodshot, I was like, okay, so it's this guy who obviously can't die or whatever the case may be. Something's in him where he has some type of special ability where he can't be killed, and that's pretty much all I got from it. After going and seeing this movie, the special effects inside of this movie were not cheesy. They weren't dumbed down. They didn't look stupid. It actually was a pretty decent movie for what it's worth. Good enough for me to say that I would give it an A-. I think giving it anything lower than that, put it inside the B range, is just like meh. And I think it was actually better than meh. It was good. And I think that where the story was good, they had room for more. They could have talked about more things. They could have expanded. They could have had more surprises. I mean, this story was already good, but they could have just kicked it up a notch even more. Just with the story alone, if they would have made some of those changes, I think would have kicked it up to like an A+. I think that the ending was all right. It wasn't anything special. It wasn't hard-hitting. It was just like we've covered all the different loopholes and everything that happened that we wanted to talk about. And so we're just going to end it where, you know, I don't want to say if anything was good or bad, because to me, that's like giving a spoiler. But I would say that they they just wrapped it up and just ended it with some type of generic ending that you would see inside of most movies. I also think that for Vin Diesel, this was a role for him that's different than the 76 Fast and Furious movies that we've seen. This was a different character and a different role that he was playing inside of this movie, and it was believable. It still was that badass, dominant kind of persona. It wasn't anything special where I was like, oh, he deserves an Oscar for this performance. It was just good. It was different. It was unique. So for what it was worth, like I said, I give this movie an A-. I do recommend check it out. I wouldn't say, hey, run to the movie theaters unless you just want a good movie and you're just out and about. But, you know, when it comes out for sale, if you like, let's rent something, I think you could rent that and enjoy watching that for an action movie. If you're not into action movies, I don't think it's something that you would enjoy, because I know a lot of people that aren't action fanatics, and they don't really feel close to the action and whatnot. I've had people that complain about Fast and Furious, that they say it's too much action, or they just didn't like it and wanted more of the story. And this had a combination of everything, but it was still an action. It was your typical action movie. Like Michael Bay just took control of special effects and shot out Bloodshot. Like, this was that kind of movie. All in all, like I said, check it out. It's called Bloodshot with Vin Diesel. But let's talk about movies that you must see. So under movies that are must see, I want to talk about a movie that I saw a very long time ago. I haven't seen it recently. Yes, I know, it's with Kevin Spacey, so let's already band against it and say we're not going to see it, but I'm not going to negate, just because he was in the news for whatever he was in the news for, I am not going to negate that this movie was such a good movie. I'm pretty positive that this movie was based on a true story. This movie was so good. For the stuff that he was inside of the news about, you would kind of connect some of this stuff that he did with some of the stuff that the character does. But it's such a well told story. I won't say that the cinematography was great. That's not what made the movie. I honestly think it was this story. And most times, true stories are the best ones, because a lot of times in Hollywood they try to fabricate a story. They make up one and they try and expand it and tell it from their own perspective. But with the true story, it's something that really happened with emotions and feelings. And I can't really think of any true story film or film that's based on a true story that was bad. And this by far was one of the greatest movies that I've seen based on a true story. Next to like Just Mercy recently that I saw that I reviewed, this one is a must see. If you have not seen if you have not seen The Life of David Gale, you need to check it out. This movie is an A+. Hands down. I don't care if Kevin Spacey is in it. I don't care if Henry Weinstein is in it. This movie was good. What's it about? You know, when I first saw it, I knew nothing about it. To give a general synopsis about it, it's based on this man who, this woman, she kind of, I feel like that's going to give it away. She kills herself, and, the blame is on this teacher for sexually raping and killing her. There's a way to try and prove that he's innocent, even though he wants to take the blame for it. I think that's the best way of giving a synopsis of this story, of this movie, without giving too much away of it. And I think that in itself, that's different. When you hear that kind of synopsis, that kind of story, that's different than anything that you've heard of any kind of movie. Because a lot of other movies, they're just spin-offs of spin-offs of spin-offs. And I know for this to be a true story, I would say this is a spin-off of some true stories in terms of, the person that's in prison and wants to be proven innocent, and someone comes to try and prove their innocence for them. But the acting here was so impactful. It keeps you so hooked and connected emotionally to each character and invested inside of the story as each point is going on. Like reading a book, it being a page turner, you can't stop watching this movie for everything that's going on, for everything that's happening. This former student that he had this connection with and set up this whole ordeal where he's now being blamed for murder and going to go to jail for it. And I believe he was in jail for it while somebody's trying to prove his innocence. It was a good movie. So I think it's not something you should watch with the kids. It is, a rated R film, but I would say you can watch with your significant other. If you just want a really good movie to watch, I highly suggest watching this one. I can't thank you guys enough for joining me. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, share, email, all that jazz. And this has been another exciting episode of Filmatic.